Greetings and welcome back to Doctor Who Revisited, where I go through every single episode of Doctor Who from 1963 all the way to 2024 and review them. And now we are on to the horror of Fang Rock. This is another Tom Baker season premiere. I cannot even remember which one in number, but it doesn't matter. I just remember it's a season premiere. And what do I think about it? I like it. I like it a lot. I really like it. It's a slightly lower budget episode. I mean, if, as much as that as much as that means, but yeah. So one location, mostly monochrome because it's a very dark uh, area. But yeah, it's nice smaller scale season premiere, and I like I said, I really enjoyed it. It's Doctor Who horror at its finest. It's really Doctor Who just doing the horror element of the show that made the show so good, mixing it with a little bit of sci-fi. So yeah, it all takes place in a lighthouse with the small crew of people that, in true Doctor Who fashion, slowly get taken out one by one. So as the Doctor says at one point in the episode, the lighthouse is under attack, and by morning we might all be dead.
Gentlemen, I've got news for you. This lighthouse is under attack, and by morning we might all be dead.
So yeah, first of all, even though the episode itself only takes it's a four-parter, which means it is around an hour and 40 minutes. It's a pretty long night, and a lot of stuff happened in that night. So it took a long time to get to morning, and you know what? The entire episode takes place at night. So like I said, very long night. A lot of stuff happened there, and so there's this mysterious creature taking people out one by one, obviously. Now, for the record, I did not get a chance to see the new remake, the remaster version of the episode. I saw the older version, which, it's fine. It is what it is. It's still good. But yeah, I would have much appreciated the updated effect for this episode. That being said, I really like the way this episode emphasizes the horror element of it, that the base under siege style of episodes that Doctor Who does so well from the beginning all the way to modern Doctor Who. I just really like it. It's as far as season premieres goes, it's not really high up, but it's still, I would say, in the good pile of Doctor Who season premieres. And I actually really like how Leela is growing as a character. She's still, the badass instinct driven savage warrior that we met in the previous season, but now she's a little bit more kind. She's much more open to talking to people, and she's got some really tender moments with the young lighthouse operator guy who saw one of his best friends die and was afraid. So yeah, I actually really like how Leela is growing as a character. I really enjoy how the Doctor and Leela are connecting on a better level. Now, I just really like the Doctor Who and the Fourth Doctor and Leela dynamic. And Sarah Jane's still my favorite companion overall, but Leela's really up there as far as one of my favorite companions. And it's a character that really heavily depends on the writer, and I think I cannot remember who wrote this episode, and I feel bad because it's one of the big names in Doctor Who. It's not Robert Holmes, but it's one of the bigger names in Doctor Who. But I think he really has a nail on the character of Leela and how to perfectly write for that character. And now for the other characters in this episode, they're kind of generic Doctor Who like episodes. There's the old man who's mistrusting and is full of old ghost stories of the past. There's the greedy bureaucrat who only cares about getting rich. There's the old war hero, war veteran, who has a dark stain on his past. We still kind of don't exactly know what he did. Maybe the novelization explores that a bit further. But oh yeah, and you got, of course, the Scream Queen, the damsel in distress role that I'm so glad is not the companion in this episode. And speaking of which, I just love that she always loses it whenever she hears about someone dying or someone in danger. And oh no, oh stop it, oh no, no, no. And then she gives it a big screen, and Leela just slaps her in the face, and she shakes her. Calm down, calm down.
He says he thinks Lord Palmerdale's fallen from the lamp gallery. Fallen?
Oh my goodness! If I wasn't already in love with Leela, this is again. Leela's such a great character. She's both badass, relatable, and funny at the same time. And Leela's and I think a lot of times Leela is just unintentionally funny. It's just the woman starts screaming, paf! Hasn't she ever seen death before? Oh yeah, Leela's got so many great moments in this episode, accentuated by these supporting characters. And you know what? Even though all the supporting characters in this episode die eventually, not feeling too bad because I mean they weren't that good. I suppose the only one I actually am sorry about is the young lighthouse operator guy that gets taken out by what he thought was his the old guy, the mentor. Yeah, that's the only one I'm actually a little bit sorry, but that he went. But all the other characters, I mean, just like they're scumbags, they're sleazeballs. They kind of deserve to die in this episode. But then we obviously get to the big reveal at the end, and oh yeah, the big scary alien creature, the sentient talking jellyfish. Oh yeah, it's a Rutan. You know, the things that the Sontarans are fighting for tens of thousands of years. This is what they're fighting. They're fighting sentient jellyfish. They can shapeshift apparently, which I believe it's a new thing in this episode, but it's kind of been established as part of the Rutan lore since that episode. The Rutans can actually shapeshift post this episode, but I mean, and the Rutan has this big armada surrounding Earth, and is ready to invade and take Earth. That's kind of at a strategic point, uh, or something, or rather we actually do learn a little bit more about the Rutan Sontaran War, the Sontaran Rutan War, and we learn a little bit more about the history of the Rutans from this episode. And this is, I think, what something that Doctor Who episodes really do well is that they really do a lot of world building, not actually showing you too much, just by speaking about it, talking, and the Doctor is talking about it like it's ancient history to him. So yeah, I like that. I really like the world building with this episode, and I think I would have preferred more Rutan episodes in Doctor Who. I mean, look at how dangerous one of them was in this episode, and like there's that brilliant Rorschach moment of I didn't lock the creature out, I locked us inside with it, or something, whatever the Doctor said in that cliffhanger. Yeah, that was very well done, very brilliantly done. And yeah, this episode's a lot of fun. But yeah, I think the biggest takeaway from this episode is the big explosion at the end, and Leela gets her eye color changed as a result. Okay, so first of all, that can happen. I did not know that was a thing. Probably is. I don't know. I should probably look that up. But yeah, so what this really means is that Louise Jameson can now stop wearing those ridiculous contact lenses that change her eye color into a sort of dark brown or even black-ish color, and she can actually go back to using her natural blue eyes, which looks so good. Louise Jameson's such a stunning woman, even still to this day. But like, why would you deprive the audience of seeing Louise Jameson's true eye color? It's something I never really understood with Doctor Who. I mean, I get that they were trying to suggest that in the savage backwater society that she was brought up in, no one would have blue eyes, which is ridiculous. Unless, of course, you're suggesting that none of the original people who landed on that planet had blue eyes. None of the original expedition, the survey team as they were called, none of them had blue eyes. I guess that works, but overall, I think they said in interviews that they thought it would make her look more fierce. In the end, it kind of had the opposite result because Louise Jameson could barely see, and she always had to hold someone or hold something just to see where she was going. It was a nightmare to work with, so I'm so glad that they finally removed that, and she can actually be who that character was supposed to be, a, a feisty, brutal warrior. And you know what? It even makes her that much more beautiful to boot. So, yeah, that is it. But for now, that is all I have to say about this episode. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. And see you next time in the next episode, the debut of one of the greatest companions of all time. But we'll save that for the next episode. So until then, everybody, goodbye for now. Hi there. Thank you for watching the video. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends. I'll see you next time.